Welcome to Alpha Theory. Consider this your spoiler warning. Is ice Lightbringer? I wanted to raise the question if the Stark family sword, called Ice, that has existed for generations, that we first see with Ned Stark, could possibly be Lightbringer. Lightbringer is the legendary sword that Azor Ahais was said to have forged. Melisandre believed Stannis to be Azor Ahai reborn and that he had Lightbringer, but in the show we know this to be false due to Stannis' death. There is also a lot less focus on Stannis' sword in the show, and it has a lot more focus in the books, with different characters noticing something is off about it. In the legend, Lightbringer was forged 3 times. The first time the sword was forged, it was forged with water, and broke. The second time the sword was forged, it was forged with the heart of a lion, and broke. The third time, it took a sacrifice of the woman Azor Ahai loved, named Nyssa to be stabbed with the sword, forging her soul with the sword for Lightbringer to be created. The Stark sword is called Ice. Ice is frozen water. To me, this is symbolic of the first time Lightbringer was forged with water. When the sword was forged again into 2 swords, Widow's Wail and Oathkeeper, you might ask how it might have been forged by a heart of a lion. Well, it just so happens that Tywin Lannister was the one that had the sword reforged. The Lannisters are the lions, and who better to be the heart of a lion than Tywin? The sword has yet to be forged a 3rd time, but it is very possible, if Jon Snow is Azor Ahai, that he might forge the final sword. It is said Azor Ahai shall be born again amid smoke and salt to wake dragons out of stone. A lot of people take this literal and look for fire to point out who Azor Ahai might be in theories, but they often leave out the bit about salt. I think the forging of the sword is directly connected, and some people making swords even use salt baths while making the swords, and you could expect a lot of smoke. The part about waking dragons from stone could be Jon finding out he is Targaryen after making this sword. The stone could be various things that could be used with sword reforging, including stone powder, used in some forging techniques like in katanas, and maybe even polishing stones, which are also used for glazing katanas. Lightbringer could be a forging of one or both of the current swords the final time, and while the sword might not be fiery, the sword in itself could be Jon Snow's Lightbringer. It is also possible, since the sword was reforged into 2 swords by Tywin, that if they are both not combined together, and the swords are both reforged a 3rd time, that there very well could be 2 Azor Ahais. If you were to ask me who I think the other one besides Jon Snow would be, I think it very well could be Daenerys. Let me know what you think about this theory, and if you think it is possible. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe if you liked my theory and you would like to see more theory or review videos on Game of Thrones or other shows.